Okay, so we're going to talk about Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really worried about Paul. So he was over the other side of town where he's not supposed to be. And,
Actually, Liz, let's do thinking together.
mm-hmm,
I think that might actually be more helpful with this.
Yeah.
It's quite a complex situation, I think.
Yes.
We've got we'll take about 5 minutes to do it, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the task? What do we need to help you with?
I suppose. What do I need? Really, what I need is a plan about how to manage his safety over this next week, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I need a safety plan.
So safety plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me as a key worker, but for the whole
Okay.
sort of
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
Sounds fine. So just tell us the bones of what's been going on.
So Paul, basically he's breached his youth offending order,
Mhm.
and he's going to be pulled back into court in a week's time, and he's looking at a custodial
Mm.
sentence. It's quite likely. So he was over the other side of town where, for one of his conditions is he's not supposed to be over there,
Mm.
and he was caught shoplifting. I'm not even sure why he was shoplifting, because we. I'm getting into the.
What's because
Yeah,
want
so-
a safety plan, so it implies to me there's some risk that you're really
Yeah,
worried about.
So I had a key working session with him yesterday, which he turned up to, and he just said, basically he was talking about suicide. He said, I'd rather die than go to prison. I'm going to kill myself.
All right.
And I did that thing where you asked, about a plan, and he was talking about going down to the tracks, to the railroad tracks.
So he's got a plan, has he?
Yeah,
God, that's a change. That's really different.
Has he given you, did he say when he was going to do it or anything like that?
Well, he says, I'm not. What he said was, I'm not going to stand up in court, and be sent down, and I'll just kill myself. So really, the risk is in this week.
So and you came away thinking that he was serious about it.
Yeah. Well, I was worried. I wasn't quite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, you just sit quietly for a minute. We're gonna think together. We're gonna think out loud and reflect on what it's like, what it might be like for you at the moment, and then we'll also think about what it's like for Paul. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just see what you take from our reflections. So what do people think? What's it like for Liz?
Well, I know Liz well, and that's a good reason to be worried.
Yeah.
That's not, even Peter was saying, that's a big change that in boys normally, gives us all a run around, pushes every boundary, but that is, that's different. I suppose there's lots of questions in my head of a little bit more detail about the nature of the plan and how much he's sort of intending to fulfil it, or how much it's a kind of, if you like, a cry of pain, but it seems sensible to be worried.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
Well, I think for Liz, the fact that she's been working with this, with Paul for a long time, and actually, things have been a bit up and down, but for this suddenly to happen, I think it's really it really knocks you that you're making a bit of progress, and then you're suddenly faced with this really things are getting a lot worse.
And actually, when you say what you say, I'm not just grasping at straws, but it does seem to me quite important that Paul came to Liz and told her stuff. Now, the Paul that I remember 3-4 months ago, I don't think he'd have turned to anybody.
But I'm slightly
slightly
concerned that Liz could end up feeling like she's on her own with it.
Yeah.
And that could be quite difficult with the way that you've been.
No, sure. I think that's right. Because Paul hasn't connected a lot with the rest of the staff.
So what about Paul's? What do you think's going on for Paul?
I still think he's a right pain sometimes, particularly at nights when I'm working. But he's also really sad, and so I think he is very sad at the moment.
Sounds a bit like he thinks that's his only way out. that's quite desperate, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that's in terms of like his resources and his strategies. What other options he thinks he might have?
I've always felt there's quite a lot of bravado, and you know that actually now it's kind of like his bluff's being called a bit, and have to go back to court, and there's a risk that he could have a sentence. And you know, thinking, but this I think will be really difficult because it's like there's not a lot of kind of wriggle room here. You know, he's faced with something that he really has been clear he doesn't think it's going to happen to him. There's a big risk.
The other thing about his mind is that his mind's not been around very much the last few days, presumably since he was caught doing this. He's been out off his head, using a lot of weed, using lots of stimulants, which worries me again because of course he's not, you know, he's a bit disinhibited and so that increases his risk a bit.
He said he wants to get out of his head a lot, so he's actually saying that sort of stuff.
So let me bring it back. Let me bring it back to Liz, and you know, we've got the task that we marked at the beginning, which is about safety plan. But just that from what you heard from us, our reflections, what comes to mind?
Well, on the one hand, it's quite useful for me to. I hadn't really thought of that. The fact that he told me and that he came to me, you know, was really good, and that's quite reassuring in ways. Yeah, but the other bit is, part of me wondered whether I just got anxious about it, and but it was quite, it's clarifying for me really to hear that actually he hasn't got much wriggle room here, and this is quite risky. This is quite risky.
So in terms of a plan, what's
you know, we could kind of use that relationship with me, that if he's, I'm here most days this week, although not every day, I could offer him some time each day.
Is there anybody else he knows in the team reasonably
for when
well
I'm
that
not here.
maybe when you're not here?
He's spoken to you quite a bit actually, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has a bit. Yeah. Again,
we're
I
pretty
think
much
it's at one
working
time.
opposite shifts,
Yeah.
so maybe if I made a bit of a safety plan with him for just this week, that each day he's got a key working session with someone that he knows reasonably well. But
That's okay.
I'm just wondering actually whether this is quite risky. Maybe we do need it to involve the duty team.
Yeah, I think so. You know, got a serious plan, got
Yeah.
very little wiggle room. This is a change. You know, what you're saying, this is a big change. I think it's totally appropriate to sort that out.
So we've got the referral out to the duty team. There's our plan internally to see him every day. Is there anybody else in his family that he knows?
Well, the only one that he really has contact with is Nan, and when he does have contact with Nan, I think he likes it. But it's sort of on and off. I wonder if I could, have a conversation with Nan about, could she make efforts to make some more regular contact and maybe come and see him this week. But I'm a bit worried about what I'm going to do in this sessions. Honestly, your phone.
Well, I suppose, I wonder if there's any scope in like thinking about other things which maybe not now aren't going so well, but trying to draw out some of his strengths as well, which might feel a bit more hopeful.
Yeah, I could do that.
I think probably it'd be good for us to touch base each day each day you see him, just so that we can have a bit more thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe before and after each of the sessions with him.
I feel like I've not done much of this kind of stuff before. I know that I've got the relationship with him, but that would be really helpful. Yeah.
Okay. So is that okay?
That's
We
a
need to
plan,
move on.
clear.
I sort of look at my phone.
Thank you very much.